What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. How's everyone doing? On today's show, we're going to be talking about new details leaked on Battlefield 6 Battle Royale game mode. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about reports marathon delay likely as Sony cancels all paid marketing plans. And we're also going to talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2 devs want to get the band back together to make Battlefront 3. These are just a few of the stories. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So, all right. How's everyone doing? What's going on, chat? Let me see what's going on. Roic, good morning. Travis, good morning. Gaming Fire, Ron Slusher, Sarge, Big Mo, Eclipse, Water Bear. Who am I missing? Feels good, man. What's going on? Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Anybody else? We got World. What's going on? Kylo, good morning. Wonder Rose, good morning. Feel good says I'm muted. I'm not. That must be your volume. All right. What's going on, Salty? Missing some salt. There it is. We got some salt in the chat. Salt in the chat. I saw Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible this weekend. Highly recommended. If you guys have seen the other ones, I think it's a good ending to the series. Well, they say ending. It's Tom Cruise's last film. It's long, so take your bathroom break. Don't drink a lot of liquids before you go. It's almost 3 hours long, but it's a good film. Highly recommended. What's going on, Dolphin? All right. We have a couple different stories. Like I said, we might go over more stories if we have time. I have a hard out at 11:30 this morning. We usually go to about noon, 12:30. I got my son's award ceremony this morning, so at 11 or at 12. So I got to be out of here, end the show at 11:30, so I can get over there. So it's gonna be a little shorter this morning. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We also do gameplay over on 30 and Still Gaming, and we also have a podcast that finishes out the week on Thursday nights called GXG, which is Generation X Gaming. So check that out as well. What's going on, Aku? Waterbear says, Mission Impossible Reckoning is fire. Saw it last night with the wife. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Did you see what I was talking about, Water? About the Act 2 being a little slower, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great without spoiling for anybody else. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. All right, let's start off. Let's start off with the elephant in the room here. So let's talk about Marathon, right? So Marathon last week. I'm still sticking with. I haven't even read this yet. Okay, but I'm still sticking to what I said. I said last week. As of last week, I said full steam ahead. Sony's still going to push it out in September. I think so because they have to, and they'll fix it later. Okay? But there's been a change. There's been a change just from here, right? They're canceling all the marketing plans. That's fine, right? Go dark, fix a bunch of stuff, right? I think they're taking a preemptive stuff because I think they're still fine-tooth comb trying to get all the assets that have the artist's stuff on it out of the game, and if they can't get it out, then they'll cancel it. If they can get it out, they'll load up the marketing again. But right now they're like, let's cancel the marketing, see what they can do. If they can get the stuff out, then they can get it out. If not, then you know they gotta cut their losses, maybe delay it. But I think if they delay it, it's gonna be worse than it was if they release it. It's a double-edged sword here. You know, it's a double-edged sword. Aku, thank you very much for the 28-month support. More months. I'm getting old. I'm getting old here. There it is. Put that up on the screen. More months. Getting old. He's so old. He's spelling here wrong. Too many E's. It's all right. All right, Marathon. Report Marathon delay likely as Sony cancels all paid marketing plans. I think before I even read this, I'm telling you, they're cutting the marketing now because they're just wasting money. If they can't fix the problem, and the problem is they don't want to pay the artist to just keep it in the game, right? So they're trying to take it out, and if they're taking it out, they don't know how long it's going to take. So why keep wasting money on marketing if it screws it up. Plus, the marketing that they would market it with has the touches of the aesthetics of the artwork that the person that they stole from. So they got to cancel the marketing, because in marketing, they put the stuff out weeks before, months before. They send them to certain places. They say, here's our marketing material. They're like, you know what? Stop it. Cancel all of that. So let's read on, shall we? If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, so reports marathon delay likely as Sony cancels all paid marketing plans. Bungie Marathon is likely to be delayed as a report. It claims Sony has now canceled all paid marketing plans. Okay, Bungie's upcoming shooter Marathon just can't seem to catch a break. Well, it can't catch a break because they're a bunch of scum suckers and they keep stealing from people, right? So what started as a highly anticipated closed alpha test has hit a roadblock after roadblock, leaving fans wondering if the game will actually see the light of day this year. As of today, what was today, the 27th? Are we on the 27th? As of May 27th, I-30NSG think they're still releasing in September. That could change after, but I think as of today, they're still sticking with the plan, just seeing if they can get rid of the stuff outside of the game. If they can get it, if they can clear all the assets out of the game, full steam ahead. If they can't, later date, they'll say we're pushing it back a couple months or whatever, right? So first, the studio was rocked by an art theft scandal when it was revealed that some of the Marathon's promotional material and its in-game art were directly copied from an indie artist's work, Anti-Real. Okay, Bungie quickly apologized and promised to review all assets, but the damage was already done. This sentence, or this paragraph right here this is big, right? So when it was revealed some Marathon promotional material, Sony cancels all marketing campaigns because her stuff was in the marketing stuff. They can't let it go out. If they want to nip this in the bud, they have to cancel all the marketing stuff and not only clear the stuff out of the game, but they got to make sure all the promotional stuff that's going out has no trace, not one trace. So I don't think this means canceling the game. I think this just means canceling the promotional stuff because her stuff's on that promotional stuff. Okay? So, following the whole art theft controversy, several reports have now painted a pretty troubling picture of what's happening behind the scenes at Bungie. Multiple sources say morale among the developers is in free fall, with many team members feeling frustrated by the leadership decisions and the overall direction of the project. I always find this funny because the people that were silent this entire time all of a sudden feel the power of, well, now they're being shit on, and they're like, well, I knew this was happening this entire time, and we're disappointed. Bro, speak up before, not after. Okay? Some have even gone as far as calling Marathon's leadership toxic and humiliating to work with, saying that the warnings about focusing only on PvP were brought up earlier, but also completely ignored by higher-ups. Again, you guys didn't say anything before until after everyone started kicking the dog. Okay? On top of that, another report claims that after mixed reactions to the closed alpha, Bungie pushed back its marketing and pre-order plans that were also supposed to go live in June, and the big open beta was replaced with public playtest. Again, they pushed back the marketing because the marketing had anti-real stuff all over it. They can't push forward with marketing material as they're trying to clean out the game, and all of a sudden a poster shows up or commercial comes out and it has the stuff in it, because then that's false advertisement, okay? And they also didn't pay for the work. So it says Sony reportedly cancels all paid marketing for Marathon delay incoming. Okay, it says now the report claims that Sony has canceled all paid marketing plans for Marathon. This information comes from Colin Moriarty, who also shared the news in the latest paywall episode. Why did they say paywall? The dude's making a living. The dude's making a living. If you want to follow his stuff, then pay for the subscription. Like, how many other journalists do this? Why do they gotta do this? They just say the news. Colin Moriarty, who shared the news, you don't have to say paywall, episode of Scared Symbols or Sacred Symbols podcast is reportedly came from someone familiar with the marketing efforts in the overseas market and is considered a fairly unusual move for a game of this high profile. Isn't it a usually highly weird, considering unfair, unusual move when someone steals artwork from an actual artist? That's unusual too, right? And if they stole something from somebody and that stuff's all over the marketing material, if that stuff is all over the game, it's not unusual, right? It's definitely not highly unusual. You stole someone. That's highly unusual. Canceling the marketing campaign is usually a usual step once you stole something from someone. But, what do I know? It says, quote, I was told by someone familiar with the marketing plans in the key overseas market that there's now no plans to do paid marketing for Marathon at all. Moriarty said that during a podcast, quote, I don't know if the plans were affected by what was recently happened or if it was always planned or whatever. That's kind of a dumb statement. I understand he doesn't understand. Like, he's not saying but factually, but let's break that down for a second. I don't know if the plans were affected by what has happened recently. Of course it has. They stole artwork inside the promotional stuff. They have to stop the promotional stuff from going out because they don't own the work in the promotional material. Okay? It says also, or if it was planned or whatever. Yeah, it was planned. Let's have a marketing campaign, and our plan was to stop the marketing campaign. That's not a plan. That's plan B. Okay? But it's considered a fairly unusual move for the game of this high profile. With everything going on, the art plagiarism controversy, mixed or negative feedback from the closed alpha, and now no paid marketing plans from Sony, it's hard not to see a delay on the horizon. Now, pushing forward with the plan, September 23rd launch could honestly make things even worse for Bungie and Marathon. Look, I 100% agree with anyone saying that this game should get canceled or should get delayed. I agree with all of you. But I'm putting it out there that Sony's full steam ahead because of Concord, because of the canceled games that they've done. They've done 4 or 5 canceled live service games, okay? This was supposed to be the big one for them, okay? So now they're weighing it out. In my opinion, they're weighing it out. They're going, is it this bad? We could just pay this off. Let me make a comparison here a little bit. Let me make this a comparison. Star Wars Battlefront 2, when EA came out with that, had this big, huge thing on it that it took way too many hours to get to Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. There was a shit ton of microtransactions that were behind the game. And EA, what they did was gut that out before the game launched. Now, people thought that stuff was in the game at launch. They didn't put it into, I think it was 4 or 5 months afterwards. But when the game launched, none of that was in the game. Okay, they changed the complete thing of the game. They gutted it for that section. And then they launched. It went on to sell 12 million copies. Still bad sales for them because they have to pay the Disney tax and whatnot, Star Wars tax, LucasArts tax. Okay, but they gutted it out and launched it and then worried about what they could fix later. Okay, you could say it was a failure or whatnot, but it sold a crap ton of copies. Okay, it sold way more copies after the fact at a discounted price, but the game is still, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, if Marathon comes out, full steam ahead, if they can get and gut out all the stuff that they don't want in the game from the artists, not change the fundamentals of the game, they'll stay what they wanted to make the game. People wanted solo, they don't want solo. People wanted voice chat, they don't want voice chat. They're full steam ahead with that. They just have to make sure all of that artwork that was plagiarized or stolen out of the game. Not one bit could be in that game. Otherwise, they're screwed. If they can get it out of the game before it launches, full steam ahead. If they can't, that's and only then will they delay this game because they will fix this game 6, 12, 18 months after the fact because that's what kind of game it is. It's a live service game, and Sony needs to make money. Okay? So it says pushing forward the planned September 23rd launch would honestly make things even worse for Bungie or Marathon. It says, that said, none of this has been officially confirmed. These reports come from an insider source, and as always, it's smart to take things with a grain of salt. So, neither Bungie nor Sony has made any public statements about delaying Marathon or the plans for the game's release. So what's your take on the situation? Do you think they will cancel the game? Do you think they will delay the game a couple of weeks, a couple of months? Do you think they push it back to 2026? Let me know in the comment section down below. Me personally, I think it comes out exactly when it comes out, right? Everyone's moved away from their launch date. Borderlands 4 is pushed ahead. Grand Theft Auto 6 is next year. Nothing is in that time frame when they're coming out. And if they miss that time frame, I think it'll be worse for them, right? Because it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to, what have you done for me lately? And if other things are out in the ecosystem and games are out, you're going to forget about Marathon much faster is if they put it out and then fix it down the road. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, chat, let me back up here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Big Mo says, delay it. Delayed, if not delayed, cancel. I just don't think they will. I think if Concord didn't fail, they would do what you're saying. As of right now, I don't think. Now, obviously, plans can change. Things can happen. I'm not really hedging my bets. Like I said, I do believe they could make this move. I just believe that Sony wants this thing to come out so they can make any kind of money off of it as possible. Sarge says, anti-real needs a lawyer up. It's slam dunk case for any lawyer that also deals in copyright law. Big Mo says, nope, we told them idiots to kick rocks. This is what happens when you panic buy. Feels Good Man says, the last dev live stream for Marathon was brutal. They barely could talk about the game because of the scandal. That was a firing squad. They put them out there to get embarrassed, Feels Good. It was bad. We talked about that last week a little bit. Waterbear says, I think you're right, 30. Sony might just be like, fuck it. Take the dive. Can't afford another Concord at this time. That's what I'm saying. They can't. Think about the damage that would happen, Waterbear, if two of their biggest games that were coming out, right? Concord was supposed to be a big game. 12 days later, it was done. Imagine if Marathon has the same fate. Sony's name, Sony's live service area would be completely gone if this happens again. Two games within 1 year, because it'll be 1 year, right? Like within 365 days, two games that they put a shit ton of money behind just fail. I don't know, man. Feels Good says, Destiny 1 felt so bare bone, dropped it after the first month, and then never touched the sequel. Lots of people did, though, right? They sold, supposedly, we still don't know the actual official numbers, Feels Good, but they sold somewhere along the lines of like 12 to 15 million copies. They still haven't never actually said it, but people figured it out based on, achievements and everything else. Think about that. Let's just say this game comes out and sells, I'm not going to say 12 to 15 million copies, but let's say it sells like, 5 to 7 million copies. Regardless if you think the game is good or bad, they sold that. Do you know what I mean? And if they can get the initial sales and then get people to come back 6 months, 8 months later, they're invested. Where if the game gets delayed or canceled, no one's put any money towards it, and then they'll be playing something else. And Arc Raiders might be better. Because think about this, right? Let's say Arc Raiders comes out the exact same time as Marathon. I think they should, by the way. But let's say it comes out the exact same time. If Marathon gets canceled or gets delayed and Arc Raiders just use full steam ahead, by another patch 3, patch 5, patch 6, Arc Raiders is a better game than Marathon is when it comes out at launch. And now they're just chasing. Not only are they behind the other extraction shooters, but they're behind the other brand new extraction shooters that came out and made a name for themselves while they were taking a back seat. Travis says, 30. I think it doesn't matter when it comes out unless they put it into the month of where literally nothing else comes out and there's something better. There's always something coming out. Right? Grand Theft Auto, you got to remember, comes out May of next year if it doesn't get delayed again. If it comes out May 26th, you want to stay clear of that for at least 2 to 3 months. Okay? So that kills the summer. So either you're delaying it now and launching it in February, March, okay, to try to get ahead of Grand Theft Auto, or you take a back seat and delay it a year. And I think that's worse than just releasing it and fixing it over the next year. From a business standpoint, not from a consumer standpoint. Consumer standpoint, I'm not playing that game regardless. Ray says, I say Sony should try this time, like Xbox, and Sea of Thieves. That's true, Ray. Put it out there and fix it over the time. I think that's a better opportunity, but who knows? Aku says, release Marathon the same day as GTA 6. Ray says, I say Sony should try to do like Xbox did with Sea of Thieves. Salty says they have blend that much money, or they spent that much money. They want some kind of return. I would think so, Salty. Waterbear says, Bungie's greed and upper management killed for surefire hit IP in Destiny. They also had to do something to focus on making Destiny 2 awesome and then releasing Destiny 3. But then you're money hungry. This is the outcome. May 26th is the death note for other games, attempting that also has plans to release around that time frame. Yeah, there's going to be, it's sort of like fire sucking up the oxygen in the room. That's what Grand Theft Auto is, right? It's like a fire's inside a house, and one of the other game developers is going to open the door to release their game, and just going to just blow it in their face, because Grand Theft Auto is going to make huge waves. Regardless if you like it or not, it's going to be the best-selling game next year. It's going to be the best-selling game probably of all time. Pre-orders, day one, week one, month one, year one. Travis says GTA 6 isn't till 2027. Take that from a man who correctly foresaw Transformers reactivate. I will give you that it'll get delayed to late next year, but I don't think 2027. Mo says, a great bullet we dodged. Bullet, thank you, Phil. They also would have paid a lot more money for it, Mo. Remember, Bungie wanted $7.2 or $7 billion for their company, and Phil was like, no, you're overpriced. You're not worth that. And then they went to go buy Bethesda instead, which had way more IPs than what Bungie had. All right. Yeah, I just think Marathon, I know a lot of people are jumping on this, but I think the reason that they're canceling the marketing, like I said in the beginning, is that the marketing is being canceled because her stuff, anti-real stuff, is over the marketing promotional stuff. And because it's over the promotional stuff, they have to cancel the marketing. They can't put it out there. So they just cancel it so it's safer, because a lot of times marketing campaigns, they're already ahead of time, and they're already timed, right? They're like, oh, so let's say today was supposed to be a launch of another trailer, or today was a tweet that went out that had a poster of something about Marathon. These are already dedicated, so they have to cancel this. They cancel all marketing stuff, because if something goes out, that's just one more problem, one more data point that could go against them in court, that could go against them where she gets paid. So they're like, cancel the marketing. Doesn't mean the game's being canceled. It just means the marketing's being canceled because they're doing the fine-tooth comb through it. But that's just from me, right? So let me tell you my background for people that are new here that look at this and go, where does he come from with this stuff? My expertise, and if you want to call it expertise, my experience, I should say. My experience, not expertise, okay? My experience is that I've been playing video games my entire life. I am 47 years old. I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old. I follow the gaming industry very closely, okay? I see a lot of things that happen over the years. And on top of that, I worked in the film industry for close to 20 years, okay? I know how marketing works. I know how the filming works. I know that business is just like this business, right? We literally go to school together, okay? Game developers go to the same things as film guys, okay? We know how it works, okay? So a lot of the marketing stuff works this way. A lot of the launches, a lot of the budgets, okay, they're all basically not one for one, but I can talk from a movie standard, television show, movies, and kind of correlate that with the video game industry. Not as far as making game to movies, because movies take a lot less time. Games take years. Movies take weeks to months to year, okay, to make, all depending on what the big thing is. But that's where I come from, right? So I try to give you an insight of where that stuff and how that stuff works behind the scenes. Ray says, I'm happy that my team, Blues Brothers Call, feel that what Team Green felt for years, brain death leadership. Well, you know, there's still plenty for both sides. This is why I don't pick a side, right? I'm on the gaming side, not a plastic box side. Aku says, I doubt it's getting delayed. Sarge says, Travis, GTA is not a dumpster fire. The game is done. They want the price hike to to die down when the game releases, and then also be able to charge more. It's also just good business for them. Yep. Well, they're going to sell regardless. They're going to sell regardless. All right, let's go to the second story. Let's go to the second story, which we were talking about. Let's see. We got the Battlefield 6 details, and we got Star Wars Battlefront. Jason says, I haven't heard good things about Final Reckoning. I'll wait till it hits streaming. It's fantastic, Jason. It's a fantastic ending to Mission Impossible, for Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. I have two qualms with it. It's too long. It's just too long. Okay? But it's good. They could cut some stuff out, but the story's actually good. If you've never seen a Mission Impossible and watch it, you'll understand what's going on. They do a really good job with that. But if you're comparing it to action-packed type of stuff, there's full of action, but like Ghost Protocol, even the part one of this has got more action. It's got more action in it. It's a great movie, though. Highly recommend watching it in theaters. It's a theater movie, for sure. Crowded said, did I miss everything? Did I miss everyone trashing Marathon? No one trashed it. At least I didn't trash it. I would agree with that. As far as action goes, Salty, you got to remember, expectations are always different, especially when it comes out and they say that this is Tom Cruise's last Mission Impossible and all this other stuff. Like you have this expectation, and when you see a movie for the first time, okay, you have no expectations. But then as you see it and you enjoy it, and then the second one comes out and it's better, and the third one comes out and it's better, and it just keeps stacking on top. When you get to the final, you compare it to all the other ones that were just badass, and you're like, it's not as good. But it's still fucking good. So I said this last night. About it. If you take the movie by itself, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it an IGN 7. But if you give it and connect it to all the other things, it's a 9. If that makes... You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're just watching the movie, you've never connected to any other ones, you've never seen any Mission Impossible, you watch this movie, it's a 7. But if you watch this movie and you've watched all the other ones, it connects all the points and all the things, it's a 9. Looking forward to 28 years later. I'm gonna wait for that one to come out. Not because I don't want to see it. It's because I can't take my son to go see it. It's not a movie for him. Waterbear says, I judge a movie like based on my wife's reaction. She remembered the first part and stayed awake watching this 3-hour-long movie. She said that she enjoyed it and would go back. That says a lot. Yeah, no, I liked it. I really liked it. Did you understand, Water, what I said about the Act 2 without typing anything in the spoiler? How the cinematography and the way they did Act 2, it was just awesome. It made you feel like very, very tense. I'll just say that. All right, let's go with the second topic this morning, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2 dev wants to get the band back together to make Battlefront 3. So if you guys don't know what's happening here, you're like, why is everyone just to say people are jumping on the bandwagon? I've been playing Battlefront 2 since it came out. Love it. It's one of my favorite games. I think it's one of the best Star Wars games ever created, right? I love the multiplayer. I love the Starfighter Assault. I loved the co-op. I love that you can go first person, third person. I love that you have so many different characters to pick from. I love all of it. Everything's great. Mad that they stopped supporting it and they closed it down because why? EA couldn't make the microtransactions they wanted to make, right? So I want to talk about what's happening this past week that's happening, and I want to talk about what could happen in the future before we read this, all right? Or as we read this as well. So what's been happening the last couple of weeks? There's a content creator out there called Bombtastic. Okay, he's a big Battlefront fan, big Star Wars fan as well. Okay, he makes a lot of content on the stuff. Started talking about it. He wants to make. Now I don't know if it originated with him, so I might be giving credit to the wrong person, but Bombtastic was talking about how Star Wars has this vibe around it right now. Maybe it's because it's May. Maybe because of May 4th. Maybe because of Andor. Maybe because of a bunch of different stuff that's happening, right? But right now, if you're a fan of Star Wars stock is low, okay? But if you're a fan of Battlefront, the stock is high because it's a good game. It's visually beautiful. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. And lots of people like this game, okay? Lots of people love this game. Not like it, love it, okay? Supposedly, within the last week, not supposedly, it did break the Steam record, which is at 18,000, I believe it is, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 5 years after the game came out that it got to Steam, right? And they beat the Steam record, which almost doubled it. Almost doubled the Steam record. The record for Steam was like 9,000 or 10,000, and now it's up to 18,000 5 years later, okay? On top of that, all from Epic, from Steam, from consoles, supposedly there was about 170,000 people that were playing this game this past in one day concurrently across all platforms, which is crazy if you think about it, because this game came out in 2017. Okay, so Star Wars Battlefront 2, the devs are starting to notice that people are starting to, there's memes out there, there's people making videos, there's lots of more content creators creating content for Star Wars Battlefront 2 because they want the devs to take notice. They want the companies to take notice because we, the customers, want them to make a Battlefront 3. I've been talking about Battlefront 3 for years, right? I've been saying I think they made it and they're just sitting back on it and they didn't want to do anything. But apparently they haven't done anything with it. But they want Battlefront 3. Now, even if they came out with Battlefront 3, it's going to take years if they haven't started. Okay, so let's read this, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2 dev wants to get the band back together to make Battlefront 3. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, so a former Star Wars Battlefront 2 developer has said it likes to get the band back together to make a third entry in the franchise. Now, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has recently enjoyed a surge of popularity due to game's Reddit, TikTok communities encouraging lapsed fans to return to the game. EA released Battlefront 2 in 2017, but eventually ended support for the game in 2020. Okay, now the following renewed popularity of former developer on the game was also said that the several other former developers would love to work on the games in the franchise. Responding to a Reddit comment, developer Matt Helge Holm, who also worked on both base releases of the game's Celebration release, claimed that many ex-Battlefront developers would like to work on a new game. So when asked by a fan which developer have said that they would come back to EA to work on the new game, Holm replied, me, and having heard that my also group of ex-colleagues, we want to get the gang back together. So when Battlefront 2 was released in 2017, the game met with intense backlash due to the microtransactions, which were seen as aggressive and exploitative, okay, but by many. It is also estimated that the time that it would also take players around 40 hours to earn enough free credits to unlock a single hero in the game. These locked heroes included iconic characters such as Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker as well, and the backlash was so intense that EA reversed its initial microtransaction plan and removed it entirely at that time. It was claimed that Disney's privately scolded EA due to the public backlash as the news of Battlefront 2 microtransactions issued crossed over from games press and mainstream news. Okay, this was huge. Now, a lot of people think the microtransactions were in the game at launch. They actually removed them for months and months and months and added it later. We actually talked about this on GXG. I said they probably picked up the phone. Disney was like, what the hell are you doing? Okay, because they got the money. Disney got the money, right? EA had to give them the license. EA was the only people that could make Disney games for 10 years. Okay, this was year 5 into the 10-year contract. They made this, and they were aggressively trying to get super microtransactions out of people, and the audience didn't want it. So much so that it went to court and started using this game as the precipice of microtransactions. And microtransactions change now because of what we did as a community against this game, okay, even though it wasn't in the game at launch. It says, despite the huge backlash, the game would also go on to find a passionate audience, which praised the high graphic quality and the gameplay. The game could also go on to receive an extra heroes, including favorite characters, all of which they also released for free. Okay, so right now, there's a huge audience. Let me bring up, and I say huge, but let's go to Battlefront 2 SteamDB. That's price history. I don't want price history. All right, here we go. Well, that's price, but I want game. Right now, there's 8,000 people in the game. Okay, 8,000 people in the game, but there's also 18,635 people, which for a game that's that old, right? I mean, look at this, right? Here's when it launched, September, right? Came out in September or something along the lines in August, whatever, okay? In January of 2021, it hit 10,489. That was the all-time peak right there. Here we are, 4 years later, 4.5 years later, and we got 18,635. What this is trying to do, okay, what they're trying to do here is say, hey, EA, Disney, Lucasfilms, LucasArts, whoever's listening, there's a player base that wants to play this game, that wants a third installment, okay, that wants a third installment. So please give it to us, right? We've been asking for a Star Wars Battlefront 3 for years. It's like it's cursed. It's almost like Valve's 3 rule, right? You can't get a Left 4 Dead 3, can't get a Half-Life 3, you can't get a Star Wars Battlefront 3. Star Wars Battlefront 3, the original 1 and 2, the third one was being worked by Radical, okay? And they canceled it. It was done. It was ready to come out, and they just canceled it. They said no, right? And then 1 and then 2 came out, and then EA said back in the day that they were going to make a Battlefront, Battlefield. Battlefront, Battlefield. But then it all changed. It all changed during the Last Jedi, okay? Rian Johnson's Last Jedi, where the movie sucked the air out of the room. People turned on Star Wars. They were okay with Force Awakens, but The Last Jedi came out, and it changed everything. Solo bombed, okay? All the TV shows after that couldn't take it. Like, they were collapsing within. The inside of the people in Star Wars hated the fans. They got rid of the books. They got rid of everything, okay? This game was the only thing that people liked. Then we had Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor come out, which are single-player games, but people were still latched on to Star Wars Battlefront 2, okay? Then EA decided, well, let's not continue with this. Let's make a separate game with just the Starfighter Assault, and they make Squadrons, which came out, and people just didn't like it. It was okay. It reminded me of like the TIE Fighter back in the day, which was a great game. But people wanted more support for Battlefront 2. Well, this is the I think this is the precipice right now that we're so interested. This is the beacon. This is the bat signal in the sky. Hey, Disney, somebody, anybody that wants to make a Star Wars game, there is a clientele that would love a game of Battlefront 3. So now I want to go into who I think should make this. And I said this over a Discord last week before Friday. I said I would like to see Embark Studios. And if you guys don't know Embark is the ones that are made the finals. Ex-DICE developers. They're also the people that are making Arc Raiders. Okay? I would love to see them take a shot at a Star Wars game. Now, we do know ex-developers from DICE that liked working on this game went over to that studio. Okay? I'm not asking for a Battlefront 3, but I would love for them to make a game. What about if they made a game? Look at what they did with the finals. Look what they did with Arc Raiders. Okay? I would love to see what they could do with the Star Wars franchise. And now, since EA doesn't have the exclusive rights to making Star Wars games, and anyone that wants to make a Star Wars games, all I have to do is approach Disney and Lucas and say, hey, we would like to make a game, pitch the idea, and if they like it, they'll let you build it. Okay? So I would love to see, even if the people that are the ex-developers that are looking to make a game, that they get the opportunity, if they're with a studio or whatever, take the plunge, make a game, because we are ready for this. Now, obviously, it's not going to be ready for 3 to 4 years minimum, okay? But think about this, right? There's a mod out right now for Starfield called a Genesis mod. There's another mod called for Sandstorm. I think it's called Sagas, right? I think Altern was telling me about it, okay? people are playing these games and making their games they have into Star Wars games. Why? Because there's no Star Wars games there. The Star Wars games that we got, Outlaws, good game, but it was pushed out early and it was missing things and they fixed it and made it better. But, it's too little too late. Okay? We want a multiplayer game. If it's a Helldivers type of game, now I know there's mods to put in Helldivers to be the clone troopers or whatnot, but think about if Star Wars made a Helldivers game itself where you're doing the Clone Wars or you're doing the major battles and you're going in. Maybe if there's a Bad Batch game, something along the lines, right? Star Wars is this huge IP. To screw this up is like Hasbro screwing up Transformers over and over and over. This is like a company screwing up a Marvel game over and over and over. This is one of the, if not the biggest IP out there. And to not capitalize on the fan base that still wants to play games, right? The fan base of Star Wars is different than the fan base of Star Wars on movies and television shows. We just want to play games. We want to fantasize about playing the wars in the games, the different battles in the games. We want to be inside that world. We don't want a Overwatch clone of Star Wars. We don't want like a Marvel Rivals. We want a full-scale battle in the Star Wars universe is what we want. And for them to not do that is just so strange to me, right? Because I think it has to be with greed as well, though, right? And a lot of studios want a lot of money. Well, if they do the Star Wars IP, they have to give a portion of that money to Disney, to Lucas, right? And this is why a lot of people don't want to make it, right? This is why it's off-putting to a lot of people. They're like, I don't know. But if you do it right, that 25%, I don't know if it's actually 25%, but that chunk of change that you're giving to them, you will make tenfold if you do it correctly. But a lot of these companies don't want to do it that way. Hence why EA was like, yeah, we'll pay you a lot for that studio or for that license, and then try to microtransaction us to death in Battlefront 2 before it came out. But the people spoke and said, we're not paying for that. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this push, do you think this is going to be a spotlight big enough to say, hey, Disney, there's a fan base out there? Then you have the other elephant in the room, right? Disney knows Star Wars is big. Look at Fortnite right now. They're having a Star Wars event. It's one of the most popular events that Fortnite's had, okay? And we also know that Disney is working with Fortnite to make their own game within the game, sort of like Legos, but within the Disney universe, and we do know there's a Star Wars section in there. So do we get this Battlefront 3? The reason we're not getting Battlefront 3 is because that stuff is going to be in Fortnite? I don't know. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Do you think there's going to be a Battlefront 3? And if so, who would you like to see make the Battlefront 3? Would you like to stay with EA? Would you like to see a brand new studio kind of make it? Because I don't know if EA owns that franchise because they didn't own the original Battlefront, but they remade it, and I think that franchise is owned by Disney and Lucas themselves. But again, my thoughts, let me know yours, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let me go back up here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Waterbear says, we just need a Bad Batch game. I don't know if a Bad Batch, as a Star Wars fan, I think that's cool. But I think that's so very minuscule. I was having a conversation this weekend at my nephew's birthday party with a couple other dads. And they were telling me about Andor and how they liked it, but they're casual Star Wars guys, right? And they liked certain things, but then when I started going nerd talk, started going down the rabbit hole of Star Wars, they were like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that existed. I didn't know there was an animated series. I didn't know about this, right? And that, I think, is where, because they play games, but they also didn't know the whole portion of Star Wars that existed under animated without being the main trilogy, the prequels, or the sequels, okay? They just happened to be casually going, oh, yeah, I watched Ahsoka, I watched the Acolyte type of stuff. They're not diehard Star Wars fans. So the Bad Batch, because it was animated, not a lot of people know about the Bad Batch, Waterbear. So I don't know. Sarge says, the Star Wars license is open. Somebody wants to get paid. Let's go. Salty says, it's obvious with them, with the movement model that also they worked on Battlefront from Arc Raiders. Jason says Star Wars. Sleeping. Salty says, but I think they moved on and are under Nexus now. So they might have moved on, but Arc Raiders, once Arc Raiders is done, we don't know what they're working on in the background. Maybe they would work on something else. It'd be interesting. Hal says, I just watched your talk about Marathon. I'm shocked you still think it's releasing in September. Why do you think I'm shocked? Everything that I talked about, House, I have reasons of why I said I did, and I explained why. The reason they're canceling the marketing is not because they're canceling the game. They're canceling the marketing because the marketing material had all her stuff on it. Sarge says, greed. That's why roadkill. Sarge says, who thinks you can't make money on a real Star Wars game? Yeah, I'm not really too sure. Ray says, Battlefront 2 is enough. Battlefront 3 will be about Disney's trash. See, I don't think it will be, Ray, because even in Battlefront 1, you could play Ray, you could play, what's her name from Rogue One. The characters are nice. The characters are good. I'm okay using Finn. I'm okay using Captain Phasma and stuff like that. The characters are cool, and I don't think it's actually a bad that they have them in the game. I just want the full compass, right? Bring Ahsoka, bring Ventress, bring Mando, bring all the characters that you have, and let us play those characters in the game. Don't start meal piecing it together, right? The major part that I'm worried about is if they make a Battlefront 3. If it's EA, they're going to want to monetize it. How do you monetize it, right? Me and my son were having a conversation. My son's 10, by the way. He said, well, what about if they did different cosmetics like they do in Fortnite? So, like, you get to play as Luke, but just make the cosmetic. Like, if you want Luke in a different, like, snow Hoth, like they did in the last one. Nothing more. Don't put anything else behind it. Like, you have to, like, segregate the player base with maps and different things. If you want your clone trooper to look different, then make your clone trooper look different, right? But it's hard to do Star Wars because a stormtrooper is a stormtrooper. There's different variations of stormtroopers, right? So how do you entice someone to monetize? Do you kind of do a season pass, sort of like what Marvel Rivals is doing, like a battle pass type of thing? I don't know, man. Salty says, we all know you can't make money on any IP with people with passion and love for the IP. Jason says, what counts as a real Star Wars game these days? I mean, Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order. Is it Fallen Order? Yeah, Fallen Order and Survivor were good. I mean, Outlaws is so close to being probably one of the better games of Star Wars in the last decade. But they missed it because of the character they created and the mechanics they fucked up on. And then they fixed it after the fact, which is oopsie. Sarge says, oh, a dad meeting. Yeah. Sarge says, those are always rare events. Random dads that wanted close to each other might say a few words. Then a conversation starts and it pulls all the other dads in and they get the dad meeting. It's fun to watch. It's like in the wild. Yeah. You should have saw it because we have one of it's my nephew's uncle on the other side. Okay, so he's the other uncle from the other side. He is not a Star Wars nerd. Okay, but he was like leaning in and listening, and then he came over to me and goes, "I didn't know about all that stuff." You know, I'm like, well, he's a I don't know what you would call it. He's like a full-blown jock, not a nerd. He's a nerd for sports, not a nerd for Star Wars, right? So he watched it because his son's interested in it. So we were having a conversation. He's like, yeah, I watched the shows. They were okay and stuff like that. He goes, I never understood this and this. And then I started deep diving into it with him. And he's like, oh. He's like, that's interesting. That's interesting. You could tell that he was interested, but it was outside his spectrum. Like he would never talk about that with his other friends that he hangs out with. You know what I mean? Roadkill says the recruitment video of whatever it is the Department of Defense just did its like a Call of Duty trailer. It's so awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. I would have to check it out. House says, I'm shocked because there are 300 people working on Marathon, and I believe thousands will buy the game just to try and screw Bungie by looking to see what they can miss anything. They need more time. I mean, if the person at the job can't take it all out, they will cancel it, which I said. If they get it out of the game, full steam ahead, which I said. Water Bear says Clone Troopers skins would be cool, like adding a helmet edition, which they kind of did in the special edition, celebration edition. Travis says, unless they give me an Old Republic Mara Jade, it's not a full. It's not on. It's not the full compass. Ray says, bring Star Wars map. Do we ever get Kit Fisto? Kit Fisto, I believe, was in Battlefront 1 original, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he? I know Plo Koon was there. Was he in the original? I have to ask you guys. I forget. We're talking about Battlefront 1 and 2, the original, not the ones that EA made. I think Kit Fisto was in it, wasn't he? Where's Eclipse and his KOTOR remake? Oh, where's Eclipse and the KOTOR remake? Eclipse, I believe, is still being worked on by Quantum Dream, right? Quantum Dream is making that. Ray says Star Wars prequel trilogy is a taboo for American because they are also so much politics. I'm Canadian, so it was the best trilogy. In my opinion. Well, I would also think, Ray, you're probably about 15 to 20 years younger than me. I'm 47. I know a lot of people that are in their early 30s love the prequels, but when I watched the prequels, I was in my early 20s, and I didn't like the prequels originally compared to the original trilogy. But as I got older, as time passed on, I was like, oh, you know what? They're pretty good. Kit Fisto wasn't in either. Hold on a second. Was it Star Wars Battlefront? Yeah, 100%. Kit Fisto was 100% in Star Wars Battlefront. 100%. Ray says I'm 27. See? Kingard says it's okay. You don't have to concede. Only episode 3 is good, if we're being honest with ourselves. I mean, I love episode 3's. These saber fights are some of the best. I wish they redid, and someone did on YouTube, redid the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight on the Death Star, which is phenomenal, right? Which is phenomenal. I think Lucas should go back, or now I guess Disney should go back and like make that inside the movie. Because them on the Death Star was just like, and they're only like 40, I think they're like 48 and 52. And they're moving like they're like 80. Salty says something is being announced at Game Awards from what I know. Most hope it's Shadow Drops or another beta due to the beta download file that's being updated while offline. For what, Salty? Oh, I see. Any opinion on why Arc Raiders doesn't even have a release date yet? I'm going to say what most people say, because the game's not ready. Eclipse says Revenge of the Sith has always been my favorite, but we also grow to like the others probably because the new trilogy is dookie. Very true. Very true. Jason says Episode 3 is the best easily, but at least there's more memorable things about the prequels than the Disney trilogy. Oh, 100%. The Disney trilogy doesn't have its own identity. The identity of the Disney trilogy is trying to copy everything that came before and then make it too artsy because they didn't give a shit about the actual lore that came before it. You guys, I don't know if I can show it. The The fight scene on the Death Star is so good. Fan made. Fan made is phenomenal. They blend it in. They'll show you the actual movie and they'll cut in the scenes of them fighting. So good. That's what they need to do, because you look at episode 3, that fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan and all the other saber fights, even Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in the first one, right? That fight compared to everything you see in the original trilogy, you're like bored out of your mind. You're like, seriously? That's not a saber fight. Kingard says, whenever I watch The New Hope, I switch over to the YouTube and watch that fight as a placeholder. Do you really? I wonder if someone has ripped the movie and then ripped the YouTube movie and then spliced it in and then just watched that version. That would be hilarious. Ray says Quantic Dream is making the original game with the Detroit Become Human mechanics. Yeah, that's the Eclipse game, Ray. That's the Eclipse game, Star Wars Eclipse. I don't know how that's going to be. Might be cool. Detroit Become Human was good. Wasn't great. I didn't play it myself. I watched the whole playthrough of it. Salty says, I gotta admit, the animation saber fights are much better than the movies, but Revenge of the Sith fight is classic. Oh, well, yeah, the animation, Salty, it's unfair to compare to, right? This is why I think they should make all the Star Wars films over in animated series. And we talked about this in the past, like sort of make it like a anime style. Okay, make that Star Wars, because in animation style they could do like crazy shit. And when you do it in live action, they got to make it anime anyway, but CGI. So why not just take the whole movie? Because a lot of people won't watch it because they're like, oh, it's animated, it's for kids. Like, that's what they associate. They're like, oh, if it's drawn, it's for children. Yeah, Star Wars anime. Have you ever watched that? Have you ever seen it? We bring it up all the time. Let me see if I can find it again real fast. Someone created a Star Wars... They redid... Yeah, like, check this out, right? I don't know if this is it. Is this it? Yeah. We're not going to put the sound on. We'll just keep it in the background. Like, check this out. If they redid... Now, I don't know if you like this style or not, but if they did the whole movie, the whole trilogy, anthology, whatever, in something like this, like, sign me up. I'm watching this shit. This is fantastic. Right? Take whatever voice actors you want, put it in. This is not even the best one. There's one that looks like sort of like Voltron back in the day that looks amazing. Right? That's what I want to see. Tell me you wouldn't watch. I know you would watch this. Most of you guys would watch this. This is so good. I would take this whole thing. All the movies redone in the animated thing. Watch them all the time. Instead, we got to get the shit that they want to do. If I was a kid and I saw this would be it for me, man. This would be my favorite show, cartoon, movie, whatever. This would be the best. Re-release this. Hell, this is what Disney needs to do. They're taking all their animated stuff and turning it to live action. Take your Star Wars and turn it into anime. That's what you need to do, Star Wars. Get on it. Where's the other one? Let me see if I can find the other one. Where's the other one? Is it this one? This is a short film of TIE Fighter one. Let me just show you the art style of this. Tell me you wouldn't watch this, right, in this style. Right? This is like the Voltron back in the day. I would take it more like this than the last one. Tell me you guys wouldn't watch this. Like this is crazy. It's even better with the sound. Yeah, this is the style, like a heavy metal, Voltron style type of stuff. So good. So good. Look up Imps Relentless. Is it Imps the Relentless? The Relentless. Oh, that's just a. Was this like CGI? Not CGI, computer. Oh, this is from the people that did it. Yeah, this is stuff. I would take an animated thing over this. The style of animation would be so cool, and I would be okay with it, right? Because you still have the originals, and since they're turning everything into live action now, do the opposite with Star Wars. Yeah, and just let you know, Kit Fisto was in the original Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, I know it's actual acting. What I'm saying is, I remember the Imps back in the day. I remember watching that. All right, what time is it? 11 o'clock? We got one more story, which is the leaked of Battlefront 6 Battle Royale game mode. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Give me 1 second. I got to turn the air down for a second. Did I say Battlefront 6? I meant Battlefield 6. All right, so new details leaked on Battlefield 6's Battle Royale game mode. It says Battlefield 6 data miner discovered more information about the Battle Royale game mode, including the storyline, gameplay features, and oversight system, which allows eliminated players to stay engaged with the action. Interesting. In February 2024, we reported a Ripple Effect is developing a free-to-play Battle Royale for Battlefield 6. There are two game modes, a classic Battle Royale experience and a mode named Gauntlet that challenges players to complete objectives. The lowest scoring team gets knocked out after each mission. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second. This is going to kill Battlefield. Okay, I like what they're saying here because Sarge has talked about this in Battlefield games and Battlefront games and all these other military type of games where you have different missions that you're going on to do certain things. And I think that sounds cool, but the Gauntlet, right, where it says there's two game modes, the classic Battle Royale experience and a mode called Gauntlet that challenges players to complete objectives. The lowest scoring team gets knocked out after each mission. So then, in April of 2025, Battlefield 6 data miners discovered more details from the Battlefield Labs playtest. Game files suggest the Battle Royale will have a traditional feature, such as solo, duo, trio, and squad matches, an armor system, call-ins, loot rarity, updated kits, weapons, and shrinking zones. The game file also confirms the existence of the Gauntlet. Data miners dug back into the game files and unearthed more noteworthy features. Again, if you make Battlefield 6 into this 2 game modes, the free-to-play Battle Royale and this Gauntlet mode, what is the regular Battlefield mode then? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you kill Battlefield. Battlefield is large-scale battles, teams. 32 versus 32. 64 versus 64. Okay? And yet, they're turning it into Call of Duty. They're turning it into Fortnite. This is my fears come true. Because now it's just Battlefield in name. It's no longer actual Battlefield. So Battlefield 6 Battle Royale storyline and oversight system explained. So Battlefield Data Miner reported that, quote, the remaster of the Operation Firestorm in Battlefield 6 has been revealed as a previously unknown location, okay, in Turkmenistan. It is described and suggests that it also be able to integrate it into the main lore surrounding the conflict between NATO and Pax Armada. Okay, Firestorm was the Battle Royale game mode in Battlefield 5. Rumors suggest that Battlefield 6 uses the same ring of fire that closes in on the map. Holy Christ, man. This sounds terrible. Temporarily shared as a long list of other features in Reddit, including desperation for the storyline. After an explosive disaster exposes a classified military R&D facility to attack the multiple unidentified PMC groups, the handler deploys the elite squad to secure the sites before its secrets can fall into the wrong hands. This is not Battlefield. This is not Battlefield. Right? You've now made a standalone squad-based game that has nothing to do with actual Battlefield. Another key feature is in priority missions. You can compete or complete objectives, but other teams have the opportunity to stop you and steal your rewards. Competing at missions and grants rewards like vehicle asset key cards that also can be used as a powerful combat vehicle and custom weapon drops. Nope. Like Warzone, the game mode also features field upgrades, which also are traits to improve your character. Additionally, you'll get one respawn shortly after the match starts, and there's a respawn tower similar to Fortnite if you want to bring back a teammate back. Nope. This sounds awesome for everything but Battlefield. The other key feature in Oversight System, even after you die, you can use remote cameras, drones, turrets, and reveal enemies and wreak havoc from the afterlife. I know I'm being very, very biased here. I have no interest in this game. I have no interest in this Battlefield. I have interest in the Battlefield mode. I'll play the single-player campaign. I'll play the regular Battlefield mode. The Battle Royale and the Warzone and the Firestorm and everything else, this will kill the game. This will kill the game. People will get on board and go, oh, this is so good. They're playing this. They'll talk about the numbers. And then it'll die a quick and fast death because it won't know what the game is. See, the difference is in Fortnite where you can have the Battle Royale, you can have Save the World, you can have the Lego, you can have the band thing, you can have all this stuff, is because that is surrounded by microtransactions and skins that keep that going. So I can be my character in Lego, I can be my character in the car racing, I can be whatever. This is a military arcade, okay? And what's going to keep you in this game? Why would you play Firestorm if you can go play the other extractions? Why would you play the BR when you can play the other BRs that are doing stuff well? This is going to be doing nothing well, and they're going to be dabbing into stuff. So let's say the Battle Royale takes off in this. Where do you think that Battlefield team is going to put more of its effort? Do you think it's going to put it in the Battlefield series, into the actual map game mode of Battlefield? Or do you think they're going to put it in the Battle Royale? Do you think they're going to put more stuff towards Firestorm? Or do you think they're going to put more stuff towards the Battle Royale mode? Or do you think they're going to put more stuff towards the Gauntlet mode? Or do you think they're going to put more stuff towards the regular game mode? They're not going to support them all. There's no way in hell. It's all hands on deck right now. And then after the game comes out, they're going to keep all hands on deck with this one game. No chance. Zero chance. Robert Jones says whichever takes off the most. That's correct, Jones. Which will be 2/3, 3/4 of this game, right? Because once you're done with the single player, you're done with the single player. Then you have the 3 game modes that you're going to be using: Gauntlet, Warzone, and the regular BR or whatever, the Battle Royale. Right? Which one are you playing? If the majority of the players go to the BR, it's not Battlefield. If the majority of the players go to Gauntlet, it's not Battlefield. This is no longer Battlefield. This is just Battlefield by name. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think Battlefield 6 is going to come out swinging? Or do you think it's going to be a flat dud when it comes out? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Eclipse says, if anyone sees the fan-made stuff of Star Wars Theory, look it up. It looks dope. Oh, yeah, his Vader films look fantastic. Sarge says they have to. It's a must turn the game into COD or Fortnite because that's how you make money, right? The only way to make money. Aku says this game mode, that's like all the remasters from Sony. Lazy. Robert Jones says, am I the only one interested in this? Probably. Waterbear says, man, I can't wait to play. Sarge says, what we talked about, bro. The missions in the game can control the flow of the game. Then when the missions end, you can be forced the teams into a big battle. I don't think they're putting that much effort into it, Sarge. I think there's going to be small groups doing side missions, like your an espionage group trying to do certain things, but not the bigger battle. If it's talking about there's one large group and there's smaller groups going around doing different missions, cool. But if it's just 20 teams of 4 running around the map, no thank you. That's not Battlefield. That's an extraction. That's an extraction disguised as Battlefield. Aku says, Robert Jones, I'm interested in Battlefield, real Battlefield, not BR or other shit. Travis says, oh, well, Battlefield, you had a good run. Yeah, here, we can play this song.
Once a franchise standing tall, a king upon the field. The hype was real, the trailers made the fans believe and feel. But then came the launch, oh what a bitter fight. A broken game, a shattered name, left stranded in the night. No scoreboard, no classes, just chaos in the storm. Promises of glory, but the game was far from norm. Oh, the maps were wide, but the hearts were small. Battlefield 2042, how could you let us fall? 18 months to fix the pain, patch by patch, but the scars remain. A player base lost, trust betrayed. Can the next one bring back the good old days?
No. The next one can't bring back the good old days because the good old days are gone, and so is this game. Sarge says, booting up retro classics. Let's take a peek. Ray says, funny how EA's single-player games are the ones keeping the live service alive. Salty says, I'll play the campaign, Conquest, and they're also one taking sectors to move forward. Robert Jones says, how is this different from Battlefield 5? Firestorm didn't kill the game. Firestorm actually stopped supporting, 6 months in the game? They stopped supporting it. Firestorm had no player base because no one was interested in a BR that you had to pay for. You had to pay to get into that Battle Royale where there was other free-to-play Battle Royales out there. So 100% was one of the things that actually killed it. Travis says, Hardline 2, greater than this. Day says, good morning. What's going on, man? Robert Jones says, whichever takes off the most. Day says flat dud. Kylo says just give me Rush and Conquest and leave it alone. That's what I'm saying, Kylo. Like, how hard is that to understand? Just give me Conquest and Rush. Leave it alone. No, now you're going to have Conquest, Rush, Gauntlet, BR. They're turning into Fortnite, man. Battlefield is done and dusted. Somebody get the broom, dustpan. Let's see. Travis says, admit it, 30. You want a Hardline 2 over this? No, I wouldn't take either. I wouldn't take a Hardline 2 or this because Hardline is not a Battlefield game. Robert Jones says it didn't kill Battlefield 5. It was part of the reason Battlefield 5 died. 1 was because of the Firestorm. 2 was because of the things they were pushing where the guy looked at his daughter and said, how come I can't be in a war game? Right? All of these things killed Battlefield 5. And then they stopped supporting Battlefield 5. They had a roadmap they showed, and then they said they weren't going to do it. That also killed Battlefield 5. Ray says, how can Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and B-Front look more next-gen than the most modern games like running on a toaster? I'm not sure. Roadmap is back again for Battlefield 5. There's a roadmap for Battlefield 5. Player base is okay with 10K for Battlefield 5. Yeah, years later, when the game came out, it didn't sell. People play it now because they got it for like $5, $10. I remember the initial sales being lower because of dev comments. It was low because of his comments. It was low because of the BR. It was low because there was missing features in the game, right? The song that I just did for 2042 is the same with Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 came out and wasn't fixed when it came out. It wasn't as broke as 2042, but it had problems and was missing features. Boy, is hindsight 2020, huh? Hal says the guy couldn't tell his daughter the truth. Yeah, you weren't in the war. Sorry. Think how far we've come, House. Think how far we've come. Because before he couldn't tell his daughter. He should have just told his daughter to become a man. Would have been done. Remember 2-3 months after release, Costco ad Battlefield 5 for $10. Yeah. Me and Sarge, the only reason we own Battlefield 5, because it came out, I think, what, October? I think it was like September, October, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? At Christmas time, I bought my copy and Sarge's copy for $20. Physical copies. 3 months after the game came out. No one sit here and tell me Battlefield 5 was popular, because it wasn't. I remember taking a while for them to add stuff. Would I say it was complete after 1 year, but it never died. Okay, Jones, you're doing one of these wordsmith things. Like, a game is never dead, right? A game is dead when it's dead. But we know what we're talking about here. So stop with this, it's never dead. No, it died when they moved on to the next game. They stopped supporting the game, which is dead. And why was it dead? Because no one was playing the game. It literally went on sale for $10 3 months afterwards. The Battle Royale died because no one was playing the game mode. Because they didn't make a Battlefield game. They never put the drag mechanic in the game. Right? They told you they were putting stuff in the game and then stopped putting stuff in the game. Is it good now? Is it a fun game now? Sure. Leo says Battlefield V was the most hated Battlefield in my time. Gonna need a live reaction to the casting of Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione in the show. Oh, is there one? I have 10 minutes left. Is there enough time? I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna look right now, gaming or Krebsy, because if I look right now, I'm gonna go into 20-minute conversation, and I got 10 minutes left. I gotta be a hard out at 11:30. I'm not even gonna look. If I look right now, I'm gonna get upset. I'm not gonna look. Aku says BF5 wasn't good because they didn't follow through with their shooting mechanics. The shit was random devastation on rounds. Yeah, it was a complete shit show, right? The marketing material, what the game was doing, what they promised in the game, all the stuff they were going to bring in the game. The guy said, "Don't buy our game." He literally said, "Don't buy the game." Most says they've been casted. I want to see. I'm not going to bring it up on stream. I'm not even gonna. I'll look at it when I get off, and I'll give you my thoughts tomorrow. Travis says, I got Battlefield 5 Definitive Edition for $3.99. Tells me all I need to know. You're going to make me look, aren't you? You're going to make me look, aren't you? She looks familiar. Does she have like an older sister that acts? I can't look at the article. It's I got to sign up. She looks like Ortega's sister. She looks like Jen Ortega's sister. A little bit. I'm not bringing it up, though. Not bringing it up. Roka says, actually, they just updated Battlefield 5 like a couple of months ago. I missed Battlefield 3. We need a remake. Well, you're getting that, Worlds. Battlefield 6 is going back to its roots of Battlefield 3. BF5 is when decided to stop doing DLC map packs. The beginning of Battlefield downfall, in my opinion. No, they didn't do map packs. They didn't do the downloadable DLCs in Battlefield 1 either. The last Battlefield that they did, Jones, where the DLC map packs was Battlefield 4. Aku says I can get Outlaws for about $3.99 now. That also tells me a lot that I need to know. Price doesn't mean everything. She's from Matilda the Musical. Yeah, the Battlefield 3, they said they're going back. So everyone's saying that Battlefield 6 looks like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. All right. That's going to do it for me today. It's a short show. I got my son's reward ceremony is today. School ends tomorrow. It's a half day tomorrow. So we'll be back tonight for more gameplay over on 30 and Still Gaming. You can also watch the past broadcasts over here on 30 NSG. You can also watch 30 and Still Gaming, or you can watch over on Twitch tonight. We'll also do a podcast on Thursday nights called Generation X Gaming. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Good morning, sunshine.
sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time. With gaming news and fun galore, we'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixel small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time. With gaming news and fun galore, we'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixel small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand.